Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sandra Lynch podcast. Today, we are talking about chapters 17, 18, and 19 of Rhythm of War, Book 4 of the Stormlight Archive, wherein we meet with the Mink to discuss some strategy. Kaladin's parents arrive at Urithiru, and then we get another meeting of the monarchs along with everyone's favorite king, Taravangian, and things are not as simple with him as I feel like we kind of thought from the way they explained it before. It's a complex situation. But I'm Data, and with me today is
Dak?
And Joe.
no Jamie today. Busy mom things to be about, but we push forward. Hang on to something, everybody. The Sandra Lynch is about to begin.
There is a wonder in the weave, so many folks upon these roads. For a burden that is shared is much easier to bear. We will not fall to despair this darkest day. Whatever comes our way, whatever path we follow, I will share your pain, your laughter and your sorrow. And should we prove ourselves, lose ourselves, nothing's gonna send us astray. Whatever comes our
Yes, this is the Sandra Lynch, the podcast where we skip to the end of Brandon Sanderson books and try to figure out what the hell happened in the first 75%.
Is that what we do now?
No, that's not true.
If that's what we do, then I read the wrong bits.
After
I
6
don't-
years, mission brief has changed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely different, you know.
What would that be like if we just completely changed our format? People would be so confused, and like without warning.
Without
Yeah.
any warning whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like so we read the end of. I don't even remember. We read the end of Rhythm of War. Let's try to figure out what we think happened at the beginning.
I think that would be a very, very strange show.
Yeah.
Maybe entertaining, though. Anyway, we read 3 chapters and finished out part 1 of Rhythm of War this time, bringing us to 23% of the way through this book. So almost a quarter of the book down, y'all. What did you guys think of these 3 chapters?
I'd like to start by saying, if I've heard tell of there's certain people just on the discussion of like reading books in a weird way. I've heard rumors and rumblings that there are certain types of people that do this with both books and movies and TV shows. It's like if it's something they really like, they don't actually ever finish it. They like specifically don't want it to end, so they never read the ending. And if there's anybody like that out there, I'd be interested to know like what is that like? And I feel like for me, I've got to have that feeling of conclusion and finality to know, like, to be able to like judge something on its merits and be like, oh yeah, this was good or this was not good. But anyway,
It's funny that you say that because just today I was reading on one of the Sanderson subreddits. Somebody posted that they were loving the first trilogy of Mistborn so much that they didn't want to get to the end, so they didn't read Hero of Ages. They went off and read some of Brandon's other stuff, and they were up to, I don't remember if they were about to start Oathbringer or if they just finished Oathbringer. They were like, do I need to go back and read Hero of Ages? I think it was they just finished Oathbringer. Do I need to go back and read Hero of Ages before Rhythm of War? And people are like, wait, you just read the first 2 and then you went off to other books and now you want to know if you should go. Like it seems insane to me.
yeah. So I mean, those people definitely exist, even in our own Sanderlanchian discussions. So interesting.
So, hang on. So they read. Oh, so they just don't read the last book in a series? Is that right? Because when you were talking about, oh, they do it like us and they do it for movies, I'm like, they watch like 75% of a movie and then turn it off before the end? Is that what you're saying?
That would be
Yeah,
bizarre.
there are people that do that. There was a lady. I was reading a book about the making of the show Parks and Recreation, and there's a lady who was on the show, who she wasn't a main character. She was like a recurring bit character that they had on the show, and she has said she watches the entire show often, except for she won't watch like the last 2 episodes of the series. She's never seen them. She does not know how the series ends.
Why do I get the feeling that this really exploded in popularity sometime around just after the end of the last season of Game of Thrones?
I don't know. Parks and Rec ended way before Game of Thrones, but I mean, I
was
could
going to say
understand.
Lost. Like it go all the way back
Right.
to Lost.
Yeah, Lost is a
Oh,
good
yeah.
example.
From everything I've heard about it, Mass Effect 3.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
I heard that too.
I've never finished Mass Effect 3. I will say that. I think because close friends of ours were like, "It's terrible. Don't play it." And I'd already gotten like maybe a quarter of the way through, and I didn't like the way the story progression worked. At the time when it came out, in order to get like 100% story progression, you had to play multiplayer online and get like a certain amount of games under your belt in order to
Ew.
like make your like story progression go up. And I was like, that seems not
That's gross.
fun. Yeah, it was like they're basically forcing people to play the multiplayer online portion of it in order to get their story progression. I don't like games that did that, especially like early. We've taken a big digression here, so I'll try to wrap this up. Yeah, especially early like internet games that did that. For example, Fable 2 had certain like doors that if you did not have a person to play the game co-op with through multiplayer online, you couldn't open in the game. And that really frustrated me because I played Fable 2 when it came out at the time. I didn't have like an Xbox Live internet connection or whatever, so it was very difficult to find anyone to be able to play the game with. But anyway, that's a big digression. Let's get into the chapters now. But yeah, if you're out there, people that don't finish books or don't finish shows or don't finish movies, I want to hear from you. Why is it that you do that? But yeah, these chapters, there's some stuff I like, some stuff that I kind of bogged me down a little bit. That last chapter specifically was so long, and I felt like it was just kind of this weird pendulum swing of like oh, we're supposed to be anxious about this, and we're supposed to be anxious about this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And I don't know that I super enjoyed it because it didn't feel like a lot of stuff was going anywhere. With that, we know Taravangian's not to be trusted, so like there's a lot of talk of like, should we trust it? Like, we don't want to fall into Taravangian's plot. What is Taravangian plotting now? What is Taravangian going to do? Why is he saying this? Why is he supporting this? Not super big fan of that kind of stuff, especially when it kind of goes on and on, because it was like a 25-minute chapter read. So it's like, this is a thick chapter of a lot of stuff that like like the first part was all right with like with her going and like talking to different people she's got working for her and figuring stuff out. And then I kind of went in reverse there. So going back to like the first two sections, the Kaladin stuff, it was like it made me happy and sad. It's like he's excited to show his family this stuff, and then he gets his dad really excited, and then his dad's like, "You're gonna be a surgeon, yeah!" And it's like you can tell Kaladin's like, I don't really want to do that. You can tell that's how he's feeling, but it's almost like, what do I do? That's the only other thing I've ever been good at. So like, there's what else could I even do? Like, this is the thing. The two things that I feel like I'm good at is surgery and fighting. And it's like, I can't fight anymore. So now I got to go do this instead. And I don't really want to do it. But oh, look how happy my dad is. So it's like kind of this weird position that he's been put in. But yeah, anyway, it was. I think I'm like, I've been enjoying this book so far, especially at the beginning. But like, for this to be the end of a part, I felt kind of like, I don't feel like we got a good. There's no big tease for like what's coming. But anyway.
Yeah, and I until you said that, and I went back and looked, I had not realized just how long that chapter is. But chapter 19 is
it's a big chunk.
It is more than twice as long as chapter 18. So yeah, it's a big old chapter.
Yeah.
And
when I first opened it said, I'm reading on my Kindle app on my phone, it said 25 minutes to read. I was like, what? And I was like, okay, I guess there's a lot of stuff that happens. And then like it just kept going and going and going. And I was like, I don't know.
So yeah, I feel like there is a lot of no, I get what you mean about it. It's a long chapter and it doesn't feel like all that much happens. We're kind of hitting a lot of different points. So I get what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like again, I think if this wasn't the end of a part, it wouldn't have like stuck out so much to me. But like for that chapter, that big honking chapter to be the end of the part, I was kind of like, okay.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I don't think I knew that we were at the end of part 1, but I wasn't thinking about it as like, oh, this is the end of part 1. Where in other books we've gotten to the end of the part, and I'm like, oh man, like you think something big's gonna happen because we're getting to the end of a part, and that usually ends on like a big note. But yeah, that's
point. Unless there's a lot of subtext and bigness that I missed, I felt like I was like, oh, that was the end of the part. Okay.
That's interesting because I was going to say like, oh yeah, this feels like the end of a part because we get the moment with Kaladin and like he's bringing his parents in, which is a big hurdle, and it's like he's finally made the decision. It's like, all right, yes, I agree, I am going to do something else, and he talks to his dad about it, And then on the planning side of things, it's like, okay, here's our setup for the rest of the book. We're sending someone into the cognitive realm to negotiate with the Spren, and we're talking about going to Shin. So like those things felt like, all right, this feels like setup for the rest of the book and the rest of the plot lines. So
That's true. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, but having said that, I absolutely agree. That last chapter was like, oh man, this went on a while. Not that it was bad, but I'm just like, are we still going here? But like I like the plans and stuff they're setting up. It was cool to see Taravangian back in the fold. I'm like, what is this situation with him now? And yeah, we're doing all this, and I don't know. Like the thing that stuck out to me the most in this chapter was like when you got that big moment where Kaladin says, "All right, I agree. I am going to do something else." So he goes off to he gets his dad and says, "I'm going to be a surgeon," and his dad responds in the most condescending manner possible. Like he's like, "You've finally seen that everything you were doing was awful, and you're going to come back and be a surgeon like I always wanted because I know best and everything." I was like, "Oh my god, Liren! Like your son's clearly going through something right now." So that was a whole moment. But yeah, I think that was the biggest thing I took away from these chapters. I'm just like, Liren, you're really just pumping himself up at the end there. It's like, yes, I'm so great and I knew best all along. I'm like, oh, dude. So, yeah, that was my main takeaway from it all.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean because actually I think it's even worse than the way that you put it because Kaladin doesn't say I'm going to become a surgeon. Kaladin's like I got to find something else to do with my life, and Liren goes, "Oh my gosh, you've realized that I was right all along and you decided to be a surgeon." And Kaladin's like,
"You're right. He jumped the
Yeah.
gun. I didn't even put that together."
Yeah, because Kaladin's like just like yeah.
He's like, "No, yeah, that makes sense. I guess the thing that I've been avoiding thinking about." So it seems like he may have been on some level already realized that is what he needed to do, but he did not say that to his father. His father said it to him.
Yeah, because I think I predicted last time. I was like, I think this is where Kaladin's going to go. So when it finally happened, I wasn't shocked at all. But you're right. He didn't actually say it to his dad. His dad just kind of like, oh, awesome, we're doing this. And Kaladin's like, oh, yeah, okay.
I guess we're doing it. Yeah.
But I definitely agree that like you've realized that I was right all along is just so condescending. That
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude.
Even from a father to a son, it's just like, come on.
Yeah.
I almost feel like, and maybe we're a little too early, and so I'm jumping the gun a bit, but I almost feel like with the Liren Kaladin situation and the Dalinar Adolin stuff that we've seen so far, it's like that's almost like the theme of the book so far is like not meeting your parents' specific expectations of you or like their vision for you and who you are and who you should be is not necessarily like best for you or what you want or should want or whatever. So interesting like couple of things we've had in this part that have kind of expressed that. And even Navani to an extent, like thinking about Elhokar. She's obviously proud of Yasna. But even thinking about Elhokar, it's like he could have been all of these things, probably not knowing like the inner turmoil that was going on inside of him.
It's funny, yeah, because speaking of Elhokar, even in the prologue here, when we see from Navani's perspective her conversation with Gavilar, he's like, I personally doubt Elhokar could rise to even mediocre. So there is a whole, you're right.
There's a whole parental expectation thing going on in a lot of ways.
Was Brandon working something out when he wrote this book?
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mentioned this I think a couple episodes ago. It almost feels like these books with the Shallan stuff, now with the Kaladin stuff, it feels like it's very mental health conscious in a bigger way than I was expecting. Like it's not just one character. You've got a variety of characters going through a variety of different conflicts that are like super internal and kind of mentally stressful. Got Teft with like his issues, even Rock, like his cultural like self issues of like, no, I've got to do this stuff because this is what like my people say, and it's and Kaladin's like, you don't have to, and he's like, no, I do, and so just like cultural expectations conflicting with cultural societal expectations conflicting with like inner turmoil. Dalinar in the last book at the end with the pain stuff. Moash on the other end of it, it's like, well, here's the decision Dalinar made, and here's like the issue with a guy like Moash who makes the wrong decision and basically is like, I'm going to let this god have all my pain and do whatever makes me feel good, So I feel like there's a lot of mental health stuff at play in these books, and I'm guessing that's got to be by design because it's affecting the majority of our characters, I feel like.
You're not wrong. It does seem that way for sure. Oh, I want to say the more that you guys talked about it, the like Joe not finding that chapter to be the last one to be particularly good end for the thing, and then Dak talking about how he thought it was, I was like, you know what? I feel like almost if you switch the last two chapters, like Kaladin's decision about what to do with his life almost feels to me like a better sting for the end of the part than
What? That occurred to me when Joe was talking as well. I'm just like, if the Kaladin one was the last chapter, it'd feel like a much more definitive closing. But then it'd be two Navani's in a row, and one of them would be that super long, dense one. It's like maybe that just wouldn't have flown as better. You needed the Kaladin there to break it up.
Right. Yeah,
I thought of that, but you're right. Yeah. Okay, let's get into these chapters, Joe. We start with chapter 17, a proposal. And the epigraphs are talking about the weapons the fused use, where one of them isn't really a fabrial at all. It's just a piece of metal that's really light and can withstand shard blades. Also resists being soul cast and interferes with a great number of radiant powers. And I feel like later on we're told in the section that it's like, oh yeah, that's aluminum, but they can't get it in great quantities for some reason. So we left off last time. The Navani section left off with, actually, yeah, there's another 2 Navani chapters in a row. Actually, now that you mentioned that would have been 3 in a row if those 2 had been switched. Because we left off with Shallan and Dalinar about to summon the map. The Mink was like, hey, where's the maps? And they're like, oh, let's show you. And we've seen the map before, but I feel like we get more detail on how it works here than we've ever gotten before. We also get this note that the Stormfather implies that as a bondsmith, Dalinar could do similar things with other orders to like somehow he's enhancing Shallan's light weaving in this way. And it's like, oh yeah, you can do cool stuff with other orders too, but they haven't been able to figure anything out with anybody else yet. And they figured this out by accident. So, and I love the map appears so suddenly that the Mink is like half out of the room. He's running so quickly. And she's like, wow, jumpy, isn't he? And so, yeah, he's very impressed. The Mink is by this map. And Dalinar's like, yeah, sadly, it only updates every few days when the high storm comes through, so we can't really count enemy troops very well, since they tend to move inside for the storm. That makes like, wait, seriously? You can get so detailed you see individuals? And Dalinar's like, yeah, watch this. He zooms in. You could zoom in to like a very close-up scale with this map, which is super cool.
Like a super awesome Marauders map thing.
Does the Marauders map zoom?
Doesn't zoom, but you can see specific people.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Stupid magic piece of paper can't even zoom in.
I was like, Dalinar and Shallan have invented Google Maps, and so it updates more often than Google Maps does too. So, you got that going for you.
But it's also got like, oh yeah, we can get individuals on this. Google Maps, thankfully, can't do that yet.
Unless somebody's standing out as the Google truck drives by to like it takes pictures. You can see them.
True.
And so they highlight different parts in different colors, and they have some numbers to represent our rough troop counts. Obviously, our counts on our troops are way more accurate than our counts on the enemy troops. And while we're looking at this, Her Majesty Queen Yasna Kholin of Alethkar arrives with wit. She's using the same wit as Elhokar used to have. And we're in Navani's perspective, so she's like, this guy's weird. Like,
I like how there's also this like, I wonder if they're like together.
That would be interesting.
Wouldn't it?
But like the other thing I thought from all this is like, oh, she's using the same wit. I'm like, I hadn't even thought of that. What would she have done? Just like, you know what, you're dismissed.
You're dismissed.
What have you done?
She knows he's not just like a guy, so like she wouldn't do that. But yeah, like what would that be like? It's just like, yeah, nah, I want somebody else. You're not.
He knows too much.
Yeah, it's not my brand of comedy either.
Yeah, maybe not. You got to assume that Wit would find some other way to hang around Hoid, or he wouldn't be Wit anymore. He'd be Hoid. But yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, he seems different now. Maybe he just like molds himself to whichever monarch he is serving. I mean, she doesn't know how long he's been looking at it, but she just walks in. So we got the map and the general, huh? What do you think? And he's like, well, okay, let me actually look at the map. And we find out some details about how things stand currently. We've got two main fronts. We've got one in the Makabak region, where Azir is, and the several little kingdoms that surround it that have all joined the coalition, or mostly all joined the coalition. And in this section, it's actually like we've got the army of Tezum, who we know is Ishar, the Insane Herald, on one side, and the coalition army on the other side of Odium's forces. And they were kind of hoping, like, maybe, maybe Crazy Guy will take the fight to them, and we can kind of squish him between us. But so far, he hasn't done much, Tezum.
I'm so crazy, I'm going to do nothing. So, that's not crazy. That's lazy. They're the same thing.
Neutral Jing, come on, you got to know when to do nothing.
Neutral Jing.
Well, Dax, whatever Dax was impersonating immediately made me think of Boomy. So
Sure.
That
That fighting-
before, that was just a terrible Skeletor impression.
That fighting game's coming out soon.
it is out if you want to download it digitally on. I think you can buy it digitally. If you want a disc, you're gonna have to wait some months for it.
Yeah. And I think also one of the versions got super delayed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like PS5 or something got super delayed.
Some people in our Discord have been posting some images and stuff from it as they're playing. So
Yeah, it looks pretty fun.
we control the sea on the south end of the continent. Basically, like we won a naval victory against them 4 months ago, and they basically retreated up to the north around Iriali, which the Erie went over to their side in the last book, if we remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other line of battle is between Yakoved and Alethkar, which they've managed to secure Alethkar pretty firmly at this point, and they're making like forays. Both sides are basically making little forays across into the other side, across this difficult territory. It's easy for roving bands on both sides to just do quick raids. And so he's looking and examining things, and the Mink's like, okay, so wait, why are you showing me all this? You're trusting me really quickly. And they're like, well, we don't really have that much choice.
It's like we don't have a lot of allies. Kind of need your help.
Yakoved lost the entire royal family and most of its best generals during their civil war after their king was assassinated. And our command staff from the Alethi has been gutted several times over, so we don't have a lot of good field generals anymore. And Dalinar, he says, I want to know what you see. I want your analysis and your help. And in exchange, we will help you recover Herdaz after we retake Alethkar. And the Mink's like, wow, having the Blackthorn on my side would be novel. But why do you have all these troops here?
And they're like, a lot of centuries of Herdazian resentment building up to this. We're just like, oh, I'm glad we're finally covering this.
Right? We're not just going to smooth things over. Yeah.
Yeah, Ming's not calling him Goncho. I noticed that.
It's true. Dalinar says, well, we have all those guys there because we need to hold the ports. And the Mink's like, yeah, I assume that works for the other members of the coalition. That excuse. And Dalinar's like,
but what is it really?
And he's like, so when you look at how you've set these troops up here, it's almost like you don't trust the one watching your back. And he just kind of stares at Dalinar, and Wit coughs. I don't know what that has. And Dalinar's like, yeah, I think Teravangian is working for the enemy. Which we didn't give him enough credit earlier. We talked about it a couple episodes ago, and it was like, yeah, they know that Teravangian was behind Seth, but they don't think he's working for Odium. And Dalinar's like, no, I think he might be working for Odium.
Yeah,
can't put it past him.
You certainly can't.
He's like, a year ago, somebody let some enemy troops into Urithiru, and we think it was his Radiant that did it. And he's like, oh, geez. The Mink's like, that's not good. Fighting in a war where your strongest ally is your greatest fear? And Radiant's on the other side? Jeez. And he's like, oh, no, we actually have a whole order of Radiants fighting for the enemy, the Skybreakers. They've been giving us lots of problems. And the Dustbringers continue to flirt with Rebellion, often ignoring Dalinar's orders. So, yeah, that's not great.
No.
And Dalinar and Navani both kind of push that they want to attack to take Alethkar back. And the Mink's like, okay, I get it. So, like, an outsider coming in and saying that's a good idea, that would be persuasive to the other monarchs. Okay, that makes sense. And he says, okay, but what do you guys want from me? Do you want me to just reinforce what you already want, or do you want me to tell you the truth? And Dalinar instantly is like, always the truth. And if you know anything about my niece, she don't got time for no shit. She always states the truth as she sees it, regardless of consequences.
Yeah, my niece daughter, by the way, just so we're clear on that.
Oh yeah, stepdaughter. True.
Ew.
Yeah,
You put it like that? Ew.
niece daughter, man. I'm telling you, these Alethi, they're freaks.
And
Yeah, what if all the Alethi actually had like hillbilly accents? It'd be just like,
that would be unexpected if they cast it
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah, my
"Alright,
son, my son Adolin, you're not following the codes.
oh no, is this the origin story of the possum hunters?
Yeah,
They're a
they're,
Latino.
they're actually Alethi.
Yeah.
They
Lucky
went back
deserters do-
into they went back in time to be in Scadrial.
Yeah.
Somebody recently asked Brandon about like some of the casting stuff, and specifically like racial choices in casting for the Mistborn and Stormlight stuff that is being worked on. And he seemed to feel like Mistborn, like skin color, that kind of thing, it's not tied to like nationality and stuff the same way it is in other places. So he's like,
I would agree, because if it's supposed to be like
Yeah.
France, there's such like a multicultural like thing going on there.
so he says that, I think he said that Sazed would be black probably, but other than that, like it's that there's not a whole, like he's not worried about it. But in Stormlight, he's much more specific that he's like, I think that we're really gonna try to cast like Asian for Alethi. He was like, somebody like Shallan who's from a different country and has like some different stuff. Like she could be a lot of things, but
the
for
red
like
hair.
the primary Alethi characters, he seemed pretty determined. He wanted to keep to the sort of image that he's created in the books. So we'll see if
Right.
that happens. That'll be interesting.
Okay, then. Oh, who was the dude in Shang-Chi who was like his dad, who was the Mandarin? Like that guy for Dalinar. He's like big in. He's really big in Eastern cinema, as I recall. But he hadn't done a lot of
Tony.
Hollywood.
I don't know how you say his name, and I would butcher it, but
Yeah, like I
Actually,
know
yeah, I
he's
can
really
kinda see that.
really big in Eastern cinema. Like he would kill it.
Yeah,
I kind of imagine like Dalinar is kind of more bulky, but no, I can see it.
and maybe I'm just misunderstanding, but just from like art that I've seen, which is of course created by fans, I almost feel like they're more closer to like a Pacific Islander, like in ethnicity, like at least the way they look. But maybe I'm wrong about that.
There's within the books, there's actually a pretty wide variety, but it's like it can go all the way from like East Asian to South Asian, so it could be like from India basically all the way around the continent up to like Japan, like any of that sort of look.
Okay, that would make sense.
So I think that would include at least a little bit of like some Philippines type of, So there's lots of options basically. But yeah, we may have to do like, we don't usually talk about casting all that much, but we may need to do an episode at some point or something where we're just like, let's talk about who we'd cast for this kind of stuff, because that could be a fun topic. It's just not one that I'm into all that often. I was pulling up random fan casting, and one stuck out, and I was like, wait, who are they casting David Tennant as? And then it says Pattern, and I was like, okay, no, actually that can be fun.
Okay, that could be cool. I'll pay that.
I think he would have to do. I don't think he could do his regular accent though. I think it'd need to be like.
Pattern
like-
is Scottish. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, it'd be like no mating.
It would
That would
be
be weird.
unexpected for sure,
Yeah.
and I might be okay with it. Anyway, sorry. Back to the thing that we're doing. The Mink is like, you know what? I wouldn't trust what the Blackthorn told me, but not 2 years ago. But somebody read me a copy of your book, and I think a person who could write that, I might be able to trust.
Oh, good.
But you can't attack Alethkar. He's like, I agree. You need an offensive, but if you can't trust Taravangian, it would be insane to try to attack Alethkar. Like, there's no way. On the other hand, the other front of the war is a much better opportunity for you to like prosecute an attack and actually succeed. You consolidate, you focus on where your enemy is weak, not where he's strong. And Navani is ready to argue, but she looks over at Dalinar and sees that basically Dalinar already knew this. Like, the Mink is not telling Dalinar something he didn't know. Dalinar just didn't want to accept it and was hoping maybe the Mink would have something else to say.
I also think maybe Dalinar, like, even more so, maybe outside of what Navani's saying, he didn't want to be the one to say it. Like, he didn't want to be the one to say, like, I give up on Alethkar for right now. So it's like
you're
having
probably
this
right.
outside person come in and be like, "Yeah, you really shouldn't focus on that. It's not gonna help you." It's just like he can gotta be like, "Oh,
It's like, okay, you pick the Herdazian. I feel like out of everyone, the Herdazians are probably going to be the ones like, yeah, fucking give up on that place, man.
True. That might be the case. Yep. Um,
yeah, let's get the hog in here and let's get some real stuff done."
You know what?
But
Let's see that book. It's like, what do you propose we do? We're gonna need a heist back in Herdaz. Why? I need the hog.
We got the. It's like let's just sick the hog on Alethkar and see what happens.
Yeah. It's like, can you fit a chasm fiend through these oath gates? We maybe can. Whether or not we should is another matter.
I love that picture. Just like, yes. How are we gonna get the chasm fiend? Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it's a real. Reminds me of like a sin spawn. It's like they're transporting the sin spawn in Final Fantasy X. Of course, they're trying to attract sin, but you know what I'm saying. Just makes me think of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like let's move this giant monster to a place that's more convenient for us.
But Yasna, Queen of Alethkar, doesn't like this answer so much. And it's like, well, why don't we get you some more detailed reports, and maybe we'll find something. And he agrees. He's like, no, more information is always good. Many a locked room reveals a hidden path to escape. Like, all right then.
Ah, I see. He is a fan of escape rooms.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, he loves getting out of handcuffs and stuff. So I'm not surprised.
You know what? Yeah, fair.
In our world, he would be a master magician.
And they send Adolin to escort him to the meeting, Adolin and Shallan, so they can have a conversation here. And Dalinar's immediately like, I was worried about this. We got to persuade him to attack Alethkar. And Yasna is like, come on, dude. He saw it like right away. Like Yasna also knew this. She just also didn't want to be the one to say it seems like. And she says Taravangian has to know that we don't trust him. We can't attack Alethkar right now. And he's like, yes, I know, but I just have this really bad feeling that there's no way to win against an immortal enemy. But what if we beat them here and they agree to cease hostilities, but only if we give up Alethkar? Like, would we do that? Are we willing to give up our home to win the war or to end the war? And Yasna's like, well, I don't know, but we're not there yet, so that we don't need to worry about that. And Wit says, no, a compromise like that would not be possible. Odium is not going to stop. He's not going to compromise. He's not going to settle for anything other than our complete submission or maybe destruction. So, okay, that's bad.
How the fuck do you know?
Yeah, and Navani's just like, yeah, Wit was often talking like that, like as if he knew things that he shouldn't, but we can't tell if he's serious or not.
Yeah, he knows Odium personally. They just don't know that.
I love that they're just standing around like, is that a joke? I don't know. Whatever. Let's just. We're not going to get into it.
It's like he's offering real insight into the god of evil, and we're not even going to try and probe that line of thinking.
Also,
and
it's still funny to me that Kaladin just like lost the flute.
Yep.
I know that's random, but it's just like, oh yeah, that's somewhere. I lost that. I don't know.
Well, it wasn't even that he was like in a battle or something. It was just like, yeah, when we moved out of Sadeas' camp, we were in a hurry, and I left some stuff behind.
Yeah, it's like the amount of times they bring it up. I'm just like, I genuinely don't even remember him losing it. When did that happen?
Oh, off page for sure.
Yeah, it was just completely not even brought up until way later, where Cal's like, oh crap, yeah, that was one of the things that got left behind.
Yeah, and now they just won't shut up about it. I'm like, what the hell?
And then Yasna says, hey, Wit, go get me the heralds. And I love Wit's like, don't belittle anyone while I'm gone. You'll make me feel obsolete. He leaves Yasna alone with her family, and it says, don't belittle anyone while I'm gone.
I mean, to be fair, it is Yasna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's pretty kind to her uncle / dad.
She is, but also if he's doing something that she thinks is silly and not going to work, she doesn't exactly hold back.
Right.
Nope. That's what he said. He's like, she doesn't care. She'll tell you what she thinks.
Don't be a moron, you idiot.
It's like, Uncle, I love you. Shut the fuck up.
Well, and that's kind of the conversation that happens next, because while he's gone, they're talking about Yasna's new plan, and Dalinar's not a fan. He's like, no, you can't just end slavery. And she's like, I think I can, by the way. But
it's like, I'm the queen of Alethkar.
And this is one of those times where it's like, I get the points that Dalinar and even Navani try to make here, but it's real hard for me to try to argue that ending slavery is bad.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
You shouldn't be on that side of the argument ever.
But it's one of those. It's like, it is easy to look at from our world perspective and go, yeah, that's wrong. But like for these people for whom it's been ingrained and they, it hasn't been a problem for years, whether or not that's accurate or not from their perspective, it's like, but like, what's wrong with this? So, yeah,
Yeah.
not their
For
finest
them,
moment, but I can see the perspective without agreeing with it.
yeah, I get that there's social and economic issues here that, like, you're talking about a really big change, but slavery bad. So
That's the official Sandor Land perspective.
yes, it's official
Slavery bad.
stance.
Murder bad, slavery bad. What else have we deemed was bad?
The cool crime of
Violent
robbery.
crime in general.
Yeah, the cool crime of robbery. Although cool, bad.
And I love that he's like, you can't do that. And she's like, I wasn't aware that you could forbid the queen from doing anything, Dalinar. He's like,
He's like, we did make you queen, didn't we?
What was that, Mr. Rescinded your title?
I forgot we did that, didn't we? We made you the queen. Oh well.
and he's trying to argue like,
Yeah.
this is not the time. Things are already so unstable. And she's like, no, actually, historically, that is the best time. While things are already in chaos, we do this. And then like it's not as bad as it would be other times, basically, because everything is already up in the air.
It's like, what's a little more chaos between friends?
I'm an agent of chaos. Not really.
And eventually Dalinar just looks over at Navani, and Navani's like, what did you think was going to happen when you put her on the throne?
Like, she's your daughter. Can't you talk to her?
And he's like, I thought that she wouldn't be bullied by like Light Eyes and their schemes. And Yasmin's like, yeah, I'm not being bullied by Light Eyes, including you. But feel free to oppose me, like, yeah, as visibly as possible, because it will stop these rumors that I'm somehow a pawn of the Blackthorn. By all means, please.
Anyone who thinks Yasna can be a pawn of anyone that ain't met Yasna.
Right?
Yeah. I think Yasna's my crush in this book, just so everybody's clear.
I mean, we were saying as far back as, I can't remember if it was book 1 or book 2, but it's like, man, if Yasna was queen, she would just unfuck this situation. Looks like that's exactly what she's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dalinar does not agree, but I do, yeah. And then there's the question about, well, what about the Ardents? And she's like, well, I mean, they're slaves, right? So, yeah, that includes them. And she's like, but Navani says, doesn't it worry you thinking that, like, the church as a free entity would become involved in politics and stuff? And Yasna's like, well, they already do. They just pretend that they don't. I'd honestly kind of rather it was out in the open.
It's like, man, Yasna, you keep making these great points.
And Yasna's like, look, in the long run, this is good for Alethkar. Economically, morally, like, this is good. And Dalinar, I'm glad to hear your objections, because that'll give me time to figure out how to respond to those same objections when other people make them after I make the announcement. But you're not going to stop me. And then Witch shows up with Shalash and Talon, or Talon-a-lot. Talon's still not in good shape. Navani says they are both insane. At least Shalash can function, kind of.
Just have to destroy anything that has my face on it, but other than that, I'm good.
It's a little late for Ash to go through her destroying artwork thing. They know what she looks like now. They can identify her. And they've got Shallan, Miss Photographic Memory, who's like taking a memory of their faces. So it's like, yeah, destroy all the art you want. We'll make more.
It'd be funny if Shallan just like, as a joke, just hung pictures of her that she had drawn like all around her room. And then like as she's destroying them, Pattern just like sticks more up.
It's like anytime Ash is unhelpful or anything, it's like, that's another portrait of you going up in your room. No, stop.
Please.
It's the worst punishment ever. Or maybe it would give her something to do and she'd appreciate. I don't know.
No, yeah, that's true. Maybe it just alleviates the boredom.
Good. More pictures of me to destroy. My favorite.
Yep. You realize you're just wasting your own paper here, right? Nah.
It's a good
We're
time.
having a good time. Everyone's having fun. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
What Yasna has brought them here for is like, Ash, tell them what you told me about like my uncle's bondsmith powers. And Shalash is like, or Ash, might be easier to say. She's like, I told you, I don't know anything. Like, that was Ishar's deal. He handled all the bond smithiness. My father would occasionally discuss matters of deep realmatic theory with him, but I didn't care. Why should I? I was like, maybe you should care because it's kind of important to how you survive and work, but whatever, not my business.
Hey, all she cares about is destroying her own image. It's fine.
Now, to be fair, how many times in your workplace are you just like, this is my role, and I don't really give a shit what I don't know, like accounts payable is doing. And it's like that's not my role. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, yeah, you're not wrong. And Yasna's like, okay, but he forged the Oath Pact that made you immortal and trapped the Voidbringers in another realm. And Ash is like, Braze is not another realm. It's a planet. You can see it in the sky. But yeah, the Oath Pact, he did all that. We just went along with it. And she says the Oath Pact is broken. They killed my father a year ago, permanently somehow. We all felt it. We can do nothing for you now. There is no more Oath Pact. And Yasna's like, okay, but do you think Dalinar could, like, fix it or replicate it somehow? And she's like, I don't know. It doesn't work for you guys the way it did for us when we had our swords. Like, you're more limited, but also you can do some things we couldn't. So, I don't know. I didn't know much about it in the first place. Whatever. But there are some who do know, who experimented with different powers. The Shin have the Honor Blades. And Seth says that they trained with all of them and know their abilities. And Donald's like, okay, but yeah, scouts that we send to Shinovar vanish, and Windrunners get shot at with arrows, so they don't want anything to do with us.
I feel like this is information we could have used earlier.
Right?
I thought, yeah, we saw the traders going through shit. I thought the Shin were like fairly peaceful, just defensive, sure, but peaceful. And it's like, no, they actually just shoot at anyone who comes close. What?
Yeah.
Just leave us alone.
And Ash says, yeah, the Shin are unpredictable. I eventually left them behind. They tried to kill me, but that I could take. It was when they started to worship me. They had legends, prophecies about the coming of this return. I don't know. I didn't believe it. And so Yasna's like, we want this region to be stable because we're going to have to deal with the Shin eventually. We want to know what they know about bondsmithing. And Donald's like, okay, that's an interesting point. And Yasna's just like, excellent. Like, okay, decision made. Great. I'm glad you listened. If we do that, then I'm going to be personally there to join the war effort. And Donald's like, how involved exactly do you intend to be? And she goes, as involved as seems appropriate. And he's just like, we'll deal with that if it becomes a problem, I suppose. And we end the chapter there. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine,
Yes, everything's fine. Who are you?
And so the next one is Surgeon, and the epigraph is the Fused have a second metal that conducts stormlight. And so they use it, they put a gemstone at the end of it, and they stab one of the radiants, and then the sphere, like, sucks all the stormlight out of them somehow. Which we saw in the battle, like, them using these weapons that they stab you, and it gets the stormlight out, so...
Given they were just talking about aluminium, is this Duralumin?
This is an excellent question. Yeah, we don't know. It can conduct it somehow, so who knows which one that would be. If it's any of the metals we know about, I guess it could be something else, but she's more interested in how they like she's like, I guess the sphere must be a vacuum or something to get the stormlight out, but I don't know how that works. And we are with Kaladin. We get one note that Scar and Drehy left nearly 4 weeks ago to take Rock and his family, and we got word that they made it okay, but that's it.
Hang on, didn't Scar just get promoted? He got promoted in absentia?
Yeah, actually, they said at the time, I think, they were like, when Scar gets back, he's going to be in charge of, like, operations, like, in the field.
My bad.
But we also addressed the fact, like somebody mentioned previously, I think it was Dak, that was like, why didn't Teft get promoted? And it was, well, Kaladin tried, and Teft chewed him out, and was like, no, that's stupid. I'm not doing that.
Okay, fair enough. I will accept that. That's in character for Teft.
Yeah, right.
He's like, nah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, Teft is one of my boys, so...
And so nobody is upset that Kaladin is stepping back, he says. They kind of assume probably that he's going to become a strategic general or something like that. But he hasn't told anyone what he plans to do yet because he hasn't even told Dalinar.
Because he doesn't know.
Dalinar still wants him to become like an ambassador, and Kaladin's like, I don't know. No, that would be a terrible place for me.
I don't know why Dalinar wants that. I think he's not thinking that through at all.
I feel like Kaladin is just really respected. We even see in the meeting in the next chapter, the meeting.
That's true. They're like, "Where's Kaladin Stormblessed?"
Yeah, they're like, "Where's Stormblessed?" Like, we want to hear from him. Everyone respects him, and I think that's probably what Dalinar's thinking.
But how much would they respect him after they hear him be like, "Shut up and do what I say"?
But Kaladin is out here because he's meeting the people on the fourth bridge as they reach the Shattered Plains. Finally, took 4 weeks, or more than that. Because it's been 4 weeks since they got Rock back home. But And we cut basically directly to him showing his parents around Urithiru. Originally, we organized the tower by princedoms, but that didn't really work well. The high princes all wanted to like keep their people clumped up close together, and everyone ended up like in the middle with no sunlight or windows or anything, and it was kind of sad. We also find out the tower is weird in some ways. They're walking down a hall, and there's just a big stone tube crossing the center of the hallway, right in the way of everything. Like, why would you build it like that? There are hallways that dead end, rooms with no entrance except a tiny little peek hole, small shafts that plummet 30 or more stories. Like, there's a lot of weirdness.
Sounds like a real Hogwarts castle.
Yeah. And there's some fun back and forth with his family, who I feel like we don't know all that well, even after all of the flashbacks in the first book to Kaladin's childhood. Like he's explaining, Navani wants to do this way, and his mother's like, no, the tower's really interesting, but you're calling Brightness Navani Kholin by her first name. Isn't she the queen? And he's like, I've grown more informal with them as I've gotten to know them. And Syl's like, nah, that's a lie. He always talked like that. He called King Elhokar by his name ages before he became a Radiant. Which, yeah, he always did call Elhokar like Elhokar.
Also, like, I feel like this would be a good opportunity to bring up. Do he and Yasna still kind of hate each other?
We really don't know. Like,
it's like have they kind of just like come to like an agree to disagree mentality, or are they still just like oh god, he's here?
As much as the ship I want is Kaladin and Yasna, my guess is she nothings him.
We know that Syl mentioned that Yasna was one of like 3 people that Kaladin couldn't intimidate in the earlier section, but
I mean that's not at all shocking.
No, yeah, I think that's the only thing, the only more information we've gotten about their relationship.
Like honestly, it's like I want to know who the other 2 are. I assume one would be Wit, but
well, she brought Adolin with him because she needed someone he couldn't intimidate.
That's right, yeah.
And then Yasna, and I think she said 3, and I assumed the third one was Dalinar, but
yeah, that would make sense.
Then you got to add 4 because like surely Wit is there. like Kaladin trying to intimidate Wit would just be like, you are just precious.
Yeah, Wit don't care, I'm sure. Yeah. And yeah, his mom's just like, yeah, disrespectful of light-eyed authority, and does what he wants regardless of social class. Where could he have gotten that? And looks at his father. And there's like, yeah, I don't know.
That's a good point. Wait, you talking about me?
So, I refuse to speculate on these wildly true accusations.
Yeah.
And when they stop to look at something, Hasina's like, we should probably go. It seems Kaladin's really excited to show us our rooms. He's obviously. And Syl's like, wait, what, really? How can you tell? I don't think he ever gets excited. Not even when I tell him I have a fun surprise for him. And Kaladin's like, your surprises are not fun. And she explains that she put a rat in his boot. She can't pick up a rat, so she had to lead a live rat there with food into his boot.
Like, this is some real Jared Leto-ish behavior from Syl, and I'm not okay with it.
Liren's just like, but why? And she's like, because it fits so well. How do you not understand?
What do you not get about the rat fit right inside the boot?
And Hasina's like, Liren surgically removed his sense of humor. And Liren goes, yeah, got good money for it on the open market too. And like Syl's like, wait, she's looking around like smiling hesitantly, like, is this a joke? And then Hasina nods and she's like, oh, okay, ha ha ha. And Callan's like, oh, this is fun. Like, watching his mom, like, tease his dad and try to get him to pay attention to people, and he plays into the jokes. Like, I remember this.
Yes, childhood. Not at all awkward. I miss my brother.
And so, yeah, Tien.
It's okay. They got him another one.
We made another one. It's okay.
We went to the baby store and picked out a replacement.
And he brings them to where they're going to put the people of Hearthstone. He's like, I got you. I'm sorry we had to be all the way up on the 6th floor, but I wanted to get you guys a nice balcony where you could all be together. There's a large one at one end that Laurel gets because she's under the new rules. Apparently she inherits. She becomes like city lady or whatever. So she's off meeting Yasna right now. And they've left the baby with her twins. She has twins with Roshone, who are apparently very reserved little guys.
Hey, look, Roshone got replacement babies as well.
Oh.
And let's see what else. I don't know yet what everyone's duties are going to be. Dalinar's trying to set up these farming operations, and you'd be surprised how few people we know, or that we still have, that have any experience farming. So it's actually going to be a big help. And eventually they're talking about the rooms, and Syl's like, no, enough, come on, follow me. Come on. And she wants to show them their rooms. We spent all week getting it ready. And so there's another big room at the other end, which is big enough for Kaladin's family, but also they show them they've set up a whole, like, fully stocked a clinic for Kaladin's dad. There's space here for the baby, and Syl's like, I picked out the toys because Kaladin would have gotten something dumb. And there's all these new books. It says that Kaladin has spent a lot of his money buying new books for his mother. And then here's a fully stocked surgery room, exam table, like the kind of stuff like scalpels and a device for listening to heartbeats and a Fabrial clock that Kaladin's dad could never have afforded. And he's like, I got the best from Taravangian's physicians, and there's all these new medicines your mom's gonna have to read you about. Like, basically, in Kharbranth, they've come up with vaccines, and it's a new concept, so it's very exciting.
Hey, Lyran's just like, preventative medicine, how quaint.
And Lyran's just like staring. He says he looks solemn, and Kaladin's like, oh crap, he hates it. What did I do wrong? And Lyran's like, I mean, yeah, it's really nice, but I mean, what's the point? I saw what the Radiants did. They can heal people with a touch. They can regrow limbs. Like
we were talking earlier about, like, oh, the Alethi are all actually just rednecks, and it's like now Liran is just those dudes from South Park on, they took our germs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Hasina's like, he's been moping about this the whole trip. And Liran's like, I'm not moping, okay? Like, it would, to be sad about a major revolution in healing would be callous and selfish, and it's just, I'm gonna have to
But
find
I'm
something else
sad.
to do.
But I am sad because, my life's work. Obsolete.
And I love Kaladin sitting here like, oh my gosh, I know exactly how that feels to be like, I have to find something else to do with my life. That's what I'm going through. And he says, no, Dad, we have 3 Truth Watchers and less than 50 Edge Dancers, and those are the only ones who can heal. We brought a bunch with us to Hearthstone because we didn't want the new platform falling into the enemy hands, but most of the time they're on the battlefield.
This is interesting to me. So they have more Truth Watchers besides Renarin, but Renarin's got the corrupted Spren. So it's like, what is the dynamic there? Like, do the other Truth Watchers not associate with him? Is he just like, ugh, that's the cursed one?
I'm very curious about that too. Yeah.
What is the deal there?
He's tied so much into, the royal family at this point that I bet, it's not weird that he doesn't associate with the other Radiants of that order. Would be my guess.
True. And yeah, he hangs out with Bridge 4, who are all like Windrunners, so different order again.
Right.
So
true.
And he can't. I doubt he can have squires.
Maybe
yeah,
not.
True.
I don't know.
That's again, this is just one of those. We need to know more about what's the deal with his corrupted Spren.
What is the deal?
Does it make his powers different? Like, there's so much that I want to know there.
Yeah.
But, Renarin not a main character, so we don't ever get to talk about him.
Yeah, right. It's like, we'll get back to when Brandon remembers he's there.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, Yasna's gotten a lot more screen time after being maybe dead for a big chunk of a book than Renarin has.
Renarin is always kind of in the background. Yeah, they didn't try to make him king, so
yeah, that's true.
I don't. Maybe they talked about it at that time where they're like, "Who's going to be king?" But anyway. But Cal's like, "No, we have a huge clinic in the market, and it's always busy all hours of the day. You're going to be very, very useful here, Dad. You're not going to obsolete at all." And Liran's like, oh my gosh. And he gets so happy, and then he realizes, oh wait, I should not be happy that people still need healing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good, son. I'm glad I could be of use in such a terrible... Yay!
And Kaladin's mother gives him a hug. Like, she's so happy that her husband has found purpose in his life again.
It's only been a few weeks, but it was a rough few weeks.
Yeah, apparently. Syl's like, okay, you're going to tell him, right? Or do I need to tell them? And he says, no, now's not the time. And she's like, why not? And he can't come up with a reason. So, all right. It's like, yeah, I got to tell you guys something. I'm leaving the military. I need a break from fighting, and Dalinar commanded it. So I thought maybe I'd take the room next to Oridan's room, and I have to find something else to do with my life. And then it says, Hasina puts her hand to her mouth, and Liran stops dead, and it says, goes pale as if he'd seen a Voidbringer, and then his face gets the widest grin Kaladin has ever seen. And he's like, that's what all this is about. You finally understand that I've been right, and you're going to be a surgeon like we always dreamed.
Oh, no.
Way to make it all about you, Dad.
Yeah. And it's especially I've been right this whole time. We always dreamed. It's like, no. Pretty sure your son always dreamed of being a warrior, but whatever.
It's like,
And-
I get his joy. It's like, oh, my son's leaving the military. He's not going to die on some battlefield. That side of it, I get. But the way he phrases it is just so dismissive of everything Kaladin has been through.
Well,
Mhm.
and to be honest, like that's been Lyran's thing this whole time. Like Kaladin was doing all these amazing, like world-changing things, and Lyran was like, "Yeah, but you're doing it because you're fighting. Like you're killing things. That's not okay." It's like, yeah, it's a rough one.
Yeah.
Kaladin in his own head is like, yeah, no, that's the answer that I've been purposefully avoiding. I considered like everything else in the world, but the one other thing that I'm trained to do, essentially.
Right. Which should tell you something there, bud.
And he's like, yeah, you're right, Father. I guess it's time I continued my training, and that's it.
Yeah. It's a bummer. I have a really good friend who went to school, trained to be a doctor, but the type of doctor that he trained for in a real sense, a lot of the doctoring he was doing was actually like sales and selling people stuff that they needed from the type of doctor that he was. And he realized, like, I don't want to do that. And until he got into the job, like he couldn't really he really didn't like understand that about himself. And then when he got into it and he realized that's what it was, he's just like, yeah, I don't want to do this. And so he tried to leave his job, but he had signed a non-compete with the people he was working for, so he couldn't like do his doctoring stuff if he left for like several years anywhere else. And so he just decided to make a big career shift and like start working in IT. He's much happier for it, but like it was a really difficult part of his life because he trained all these years to
sounds
do this.
awful for him.
Yeah, he trained all these years to do this thing, and then he couldn't do it.
I mean, as long as you're happier, I guess. But yeah, wow.
Yeah, he's happy now, but yeah, there was a big chunk of his mid-20s that he's just like, yeah, I don't know what to do.
Jeez, that sucks.
No, but he's all good now. But yeah, I'm that's why I'm sure he wouldn't mind me sharing this story. It's just like but it just reminded me of that. It's just like, you know, you had this dream of doing this thing and you trained for it and you did it, and now you can't do it anymore. And then there's this other thing that you trained for, but the way you have to do it is not really what you want to do either. It's like you're just kind of in this place of like, what do I do? It's like, really, what is he doing? Is he making himself happy by doing this, or is he choosing to make his like, I guess, like, what's his motivation here? Is it because it's like, well, it's the only other thing I'm trained for and I can't think of anything else? Or is there also a layer of like, this is what my dad wants, and like I could make my dad happy by doing this? Maybe I'm making myself happy, but I'm making my dad happy.
And given how he reacted to like showing the rooms, it was like that real awkward, I hope they approve kind of thing. I could see that side of it. Yeah.
Well, he's been gone from them for so long, and he's trying to build that connection. And his dad hasn't been like super genial to him, I think, because of the whole like, you know, you went off and did these things, and now I don't, and you know, you deprived me of both of my sons. And so like, it's one of those things where there's probably been a lot of self-blame, because we know that's what Kaladin does, that he's maybe not externalizing here, but like, you know, it's just one of those things that's like, I just got to do something, and this will make him happy, so I guess I can do it. It's a tough one.
Yeah, Kaladin is in a terrible position, but and the thing is, it's like we can't disagree with like Dalinar's right, and he knows Dalinar's right. Like he can't be on the battlefield anymore.
Yeah,
and I think Vasher was also right that the being an Ardent wouldn't have been good for Kaladin. So it's like, you can't fault his conclusion for where he ends up, I feel like, because he's just like,
right.
I don't want to be an ambassador. The Ardent thing is apparently not a good idea. I don't want to be a general. I don't want to be any of these things. And so this is where he ends up, and you're like, it makes sense. And yet he doesn't seem happy about it. So it's sad.
Yeah. Again, I'd be interested to know like the Kaladin stands, like what are they feeling in this moment of like, you know, Kaladin's the main character, he's the best, like he's the greatest warrior. It's like, what are they feeling now? Are they like, oh, putting the book down? Are they throwing it down and like, this is garbage?
That's a good question. I kind of assume that anyone who's a big Kaladin fan and sees this is like, oh, well, this is just them setting him up for, you know,
some kind of big comeback.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Was it Michael Jordan had the really big comeback in basketball? Maybe that's what we're
It's
building
true.
to.
Yeah. This is Kaladin's baseball. Although Michael Jordan wouldn't play baseball because he loved baseball, but
Yeah. I don't know shit about basketball. Like I learned all this from Space Jam.
Yeah. Michael Jordan, great basketball player, bad gambler, bad baseball player, bad golfer.
It's funny, like talking about that, because I remember reading this for the first time, and Kaladin was never like my favorite of the protagonists of the Stormlight Archive, and it's very like we talked about. It's very much an ensemble, right? And a lot of people love Kaladin and hate Shallan in the first book. Like Shallan's parts are not their favorites. That is an extremely popular opinion that Shallan doesn't get good until the second book, and I don't agree with that. I love the Shallan parts of the first books.
People are down on the Jam mystery. Good old Capsule.
Yeah, I think we had so much fun with that just because of the ridiculousness. But at the same time,
Capsule the Jam man.
Yeah, I could see it. It's like when you're introduced to Shallan, like literally she's trying to steal something. So like you may be like, I don't know how I feel about this person who's like a two-faced person trying to do these things for her family. So I get it from that perspective of being like, I don't know how I feel about this. She's really not that great in this first book. But no, I disagree too. I think there's some great Shallan moments in the first book.
I think personally, I just have a lot more fun with the Shallan stuff than I do with the getting beaten down in Bridge 4 and everybody dying. I'm like, it really sets up like Kaladin's character arc is an amazing character arc through these books. Yeah. And you have to start low actually he starts up kind of high and then goes way low and then comes back even higher in his arc. But so I love the overall arc, but I'm just like, this hurts. Like some of the depression that Kaladin is going through and the horrible things.
Yeah,
so maybe that's why.
Sometimes.
It
when we talk about pacing in that first book, it felt like a lot of that stuff just went on and on and on, and it's like literally anything. There's a lot of misery going on in that first book. It's like anything that we were reading about Kaladin was just like, I'm in the worst possible position ever. What do I do?
Yep.
And even when things were getting better, it was like most of these people are still against me, but I got to do something, right? And then you had your Gazes and your other jerks. It's just it was a tough paced read, especially when as a first time reader, knowing nothing about the upcoming parts of the story. And in the format we're reading it, where we're reading just little chunks at a time, it's like we weren't seeing the payoffs for so long that it was just like, oof. We didn't know where it was going. We're just like, this is just, woof. And yeah, no joke. And there was certain points I think in the first book that we may have predicted that Kaladin was going to die, but maybe I'm misremembering that.
There's a lot of Dalinar's going to die predictions.
Yeah, that's true. We did say that quite a bit.
Yeah, we didn't think Dalinar was making it out of that first book, and look at us now.
Yeah, look at him now.
Maybe he'll die this time. Who knows?
Yeah, he's a bondsmith.
Yeah.
So, I love Shallan from the beginning. I love Dalinar also. So when I got to this point first reading, I'm like, okay, if we're gonna sideline Kaladin for a while so he can recover, like it doesn't bother me. But yeah.
Oh, like I have no problem with mixing up the dynamic and the status quo a bit to let the characters work breathe. But we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, you just wonder like what's the end game for old Cal. He's got no girl. He's got no job.
He got a new job now. So
I mean, an old job that he doesn't really like that much.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the career that I really built a name for myself in hasn't panned out, so I got to go back to the old trade, which I left because I didn't like it. Yeah.
I mean, talk about built a name for himself. Like he's across the world famous. Even in the enemy camp, he is famous. So
yeah.
It is crazy to have reached that level and been like, nah, complete career change.
That one guy who's like, I gotta kill that guy it's gonna be a real bummer when he's like, wait, that guy doesn't fight anymore. He's a surgeon.
He's gonna keep showing up to battles looking for him and can't find him.
Yeah.
There was like the Dragon Ball Abridged guys. They did like an animated short after the Cell Saga of Gohan's just doing his thing, and Vegeta keeps being like, "Fight me!" and Gohan's like, "No, I don't want to." And by the end of it, Gohan's just like, at this point, it's just going to be a pity fight. Is that what you want? And Vegeta just shuts down. It's like the pursuer's gonna break into the hospital. It's like, fight me, and Calden's like, sir, this is a house of healing.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah, this is a Wendy's restaurant. I don't know. I think that guy wouldn't care. He'd be like, "You don't want to fight me? Cool, I'll just kill you."
Yeah, he'll kill him without a fight. Absolutely.
He'll just be like, well, it's a good thing we're in a hospital then, because you're about to need one.
Okay, our last chapter for today is 19, and our final epigraph of part 1 is Navani being like, so all of this to say, you guys have been keeping really important secrets of how Fabrials or how you make Fabrials from everybody else. We gotta share information, y'all.
Spill the beans, man.
I'm gonna share all of my information. I really hope you guys will do the same. And we cut to Navani and Rushu, who are in the room with the giant pillar, and they're trying to find matches between stuff on the pillar and maybe even other Fabrials. And we found one match, but that's it. So we don't know if it's a coincidence or whatever. This Fabrial, like Soulcasters, when you go to Shadesmar, there's a spren that is manifesting in place of this Fabrial. So that must mean something. We don't know what. With Soulcasters, the spren seem insensate on the other side. These ones don't, but they don't want to talk to us either. And Rushu thinks they're corrupted or whatever it is that we want to call what happened to Renner and Spren. And Rushu brings up, like, speaking of, should we really be trusting Spren that, like your nephews? And Navani's like, well, we don't have any reason to assume that just because they're like that, they serve the enemy. So we should take this on a case-by-case basis, seems to be her idea. They want to work on this suppression Fabrial that they took from the enemy. It's suppressed Kaladin's abilities, but let the Fused use theirs. Maybe we can reverse it. Also, we know that the Fused have crazy powers, like the masked ones can disguise themselves with like light weaving. Rushu's like, there could be one among us right now. And Navani's like, get a team of our best abstract thinkers to come up with protocols to identify hidden Fused. It's like, okay. Rushu's like, we'll all work on that.
Among Us, Urithiru edition.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, our most abstract thinkers, like, what does she mean? Like, are we gonna like have an improv group? Be like, all right, this is how you figure it out.
You need people who can think outside the box, you know?
Think outside the bun. Think outside the.
I mean, I'll have taco, sure.
Yeah, taco case. You like crunchy or soft tacos? What do you prefer?
I gotta have crunchy taco, no lettuce.
Gotta have a crunch, no lettuce. Yeah, especially these days.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, for sure. And then she moves over to another group of Ardents who's working on, or engineers, whatever you want to say, that's working on some other stuff. They've made a box with like a trigger and a handle on it. And basically, you point it in the way you want to go, you do a thing to conjoin the rubies, and then you get pulled in that direction. It like jerks her arm and pulls her across the floor in that direction. And so because of the breakthrough we made with aluminum in the novella that we read, we've learned how to make the stuff go in only one direction, whatever direction you want. So the weights that are on the other side of the Fabrial can pull in one direction, but this box goes wherever you point it, which is a big change from when it had to be, just the same direction that you were being pulled. You have to move exactly like the other one does. And she's like, oh, this is actually really cool. And the guy's like, well, yeah, but there's like a big manpower issue here. Like, it requires hundreds to keep the fourth bridge in the air and moving. Can we really spare more for like more flying applications? But Navani has already been working on this idea, and they have set up a series of enormous weights in this giant shaft that goes all the way just below the bottom of the tower, deep into the mountain. And so the weights are at the top. If you can connect stuff to them, and gravity takes them down, and you use that power to move whatever you're wanting to move. And once all the weights have gone to the bottom, there are windmills that use the power of the wind to pull the weights back up. So it's actually super cool. And she's like, can you connect these to your device and maybe have a way to switch between? So, when one of the weights is done and is at the bottom, you can switch to the other weight and keep using it. And he's like, oh, wow, yeah, this is a great idea. And he's off to iterate and incorporate these new ideas. So it's actually really cool, some science stuff. I love what Navani's doing. Then we go to the meeting of the Monarchs, where she runs into Taravangian.
Oh, it's hello, guy I don't trust at all.
Yeah.
How are you today?
I mean, at least we've seen him. We went a hot minute without seeing him at all.
Mm-hmm. Taravangian has completely dropped his whole like dumb guy persona, which is funny because we know he actually is very dumb some days. But
I was like,
Yeah, some
that's
days
not a
I'm dumb.
persona. That's just that's something he got to do.
Yep.
Does he just not come to meetings on those days?
I maybe, yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, Taravangian is indisposed. He's sick? Yes, he's come down with a terrible case of the stupids.
Yes, the terrible, terrible stupids.
And Navani has to be like, yeah, it's such a shame that most of the best vetted military minds and young soldiers all died in a pointless civil war, huh? And Taravangian claps back instantly with like, do you really think that the Veden king would have joined your coalition? Hanavinar, the paranoid man who spent years playing his own high princes against each other? And Navani's like, damn it, he's got me there. No, that he probably would not have. And she's like, it might be easier to accept your goodwill, Your Majesty, if you hadn't tried to undermine my husband. And Taravangian's like, what could I do? He was going to fall, and I wanted to maintain the coalition.
I love it how she's like, undermine is what she goes for. Not murder, but undermine.
And he has to be like, do I need to point out all of the crimes your husband committed? Like, he's killed way more people than I've killed. I don't know that anyone knows about his hospitals where he murders tons of people for death rattles, so those numbers might be closer than he's leading us to believe. But I ordered the murder of a handful of tyrants, but I burned no cities. That's okay. That's kind of fair.
And it's like, but then he walks around with a shirt saying, "Ask me about my blood bank."
Yes, where we get blood and nothing else.
To his credit, he owns it's like that's immaterial because I would have burned villages. I would do whatever it takes to make sure humanity survives. And I stand by my actions.
Yeah, this is the scary thing. He genuinely is, and I think from what we've seen of him, it's like we know that this is true.
Yeah.
But also, it's like yeah, I haven't burned villages. I would have, but I haven't. Like my crimes aren't that heinous. I'm like, dude, you hired a children's choir, and then 5 minutes later, you tried to have them all killed.
Yes,
True.
remember that children's choir I just told you to use? Kill them all. Wait, what?
Yeah.
It's like, what if we just had them stop singing? He's like, whatever.
I like how it immediately goes to, like Data just said, it's like immediately goes to death. Like, I could just have them stop singing, sir. Do as I say!
Yeah, he was just like, no, whatever. Just, like, I don't care. I'm busy.
Just shut him up. Have the
Yeah,
ruling
it's like-
ones killed. Sir, those aren't the... Do as I say!
Oh, good reference.
But they're worried Taravangian might actually be working for the enemy. So that is the bigger concern right now. And so the meeting starts, and they've already sent around the proposal that we want to pursue this big initiative. We want to start a campaign to push the fused and the out of the Makabak region. Offensive, that's the word I was looking for, sorry. And of course, all of the people in that region, like Gox and the Amuli Prime and all these other people, they're like, oh, we think this is a great idea. We love this. We wholeheartedly support this proposal. And Navani's like, well, yeah, duh. Taravangian's going to oppose it, though. And we don't know what Queen Fen will think. Then Taravangian stands up and he's like, I think this is a wonderful idea. We support it wholeheartedly. And not only that, we're going to send 20,000 troops.
Navani's like, wait, what?
And yeah, not only is this not what she expected, but apparently Taravangian has been making excuses for months about why he can't send more troops. He doesn't have the people to send to help. So here's 20,000 troops out of nowhere.
It's like, this is not suspicious at all.
And then Fen is over here like, well, I'm really confused because I also agree. When was the last time all of us agreed on anything? And I love Gox is like, well, we usually vote for the lunch break. Usually.
Yeah, but Gorks, you've got Lift in your corner. You're not an unbiased source.
True. Yep. Oh, and also we've got the Mink. He wants a seat on the council for Herdaz. And Fen's like, I mean, Herdaz doesn't exist anymore, but I guess neither does Alethkar, so whatever. It's fine.
I fucking love that logic. It's like, your country doesn't exist anymore. Well, the guy's in charge. Theirs doesn't really. All right, whatever.
Why do I care?
I've still got my country, bitches.
Yeah. You guys helped me rebuild it and stuff.
Well, yeah, thanks to Dalinar and Co. winning that battle. Yeah, she still has a country. So
Details. The point is, I still have my country.
Yeah. Do you guys have a country?
I didn't think so.
And this is when
Taramanju's got 2, that dickhead.
he does. It's true. This is when Fen turns around and he's like, "Hey, Stormblessed. So the Windrunners are going to support us, right?" Oh, where's Stormblessed?
Where's the hero of legend? He's like, oh yeah, he works in the hospital now. He what?
And we find out these big meetings, usually at each of the Radiant Orders sends at least one representative to like be there for them. And also Lift is probably here somewhere, judging by the state of the snack table. But she's not. There's other edge dancers here to represent them. Normally, Kaladin would be leaning against a wall, looking like a storm cloud, but no longer. But Sigzil is here. He's the new High Marshal, or the new Company Lord. He is not the High Marshal. Or he's just not promoted to the rank of High Marshal. I don't know. I don't know what a High Marshal is in terms of Alethi ranks. So, and Sigzil's like, "Oh, you'll have Windrunner support, Your Majesty." And she goes, "Good. Where's Stormblessed?" He goes, "Leave of absence. He was wounded recently." So apparently they haven't told the other countries that Kaladin has is stepping away from his leadership role. I mean, if he was still going to be like a general, which is apparently what a lot of people assume, he would probably still be at the meeting. So maybe that's the confusion. I don't know. But they're like, "Yeah, he got injured." And Fen's like, "Don't you guys regrow body parts? Like, what could possibly have happened to Kaladin?" And he's just like,
he's got a horrible medical condition called meeting with Moash. And everyone just goes,
understandable. Yeah. And there's like, he had a different kind of wound, and she just grunts like, "All right, whatever." But the problem comes back up. Fen says, "Hey, we need more Windrunners." And so they start a discussion like, what are we going to do about that? And Sigzil says, "Well, I've been talking to my Spren, and we have an idea. We should send an envoy of some kind to the Honor Spren. The Honor Spren can be a touchy group, not as carefree as our initial interactions with them led us to believe," which is a line I love because it's like, we met Syl and we were like, "Oh, Honor Spren are awesome." It turns out they're not all like Syl.
Yeah. So Freena's the best.
But so he explains it like, think of it this way. What if there was a kingdom that we wanted as an ally, but we betrayed them like 2 generations ago? Would we be surprised they didn't want to ally with us now? And they're like, "But that was thousands of years ago." And he's like, "Well, yeah, but for them, like, they live a long time. It's not all that long ago from their perspective. The way they see it, we betrayed them and never even apologized. For lack of a better term, their honor was offended." And Dalinor's like, "But if Odium wins, then they suffer also." And Sigzil's like, "Yeah, I know. You don't have to convince me, but..."
I fucking love Sigzil. He's like, "I get it, man. Like, I'm not the problem here."
It's like, why are you arguing with me, man? I already told you the deal.
Don't shoot
like,
the messenger.
Maybe we just try like an official apology and see how far that gets us. Like something. And we're still in Navani's perspective, and she's like, "I usually ignore this guy because he acts like a scribe." But no, he's on the ball, this guy.
Yeah. Navani gets it finally. Apparently.
And then she thinks it's because he's a man and a soldier, but not an ardent. So that's why I don't have any respect for him. No, okay, I get it.
Rude.
Jeez, the dude was a bridge slave, Navani. He can't help his circumstances.
Yeah.
Well, and she even thinks like, "Navani, this is not a good look for you. Like for somebody who claims to be a patron of people who are thoughtful, like, come on, you're better than this."
Oh, Navani, what are you doing yourself? You know you're better than this.
I love Sigzil is causing Navani this little crisis and has no idea. He will never know what he's done.
Yeah. Sigzil's like, "I'm doing a very good job." And Navani's like, "Man, this Sigzil guy's dumb. I don't think I trust him."
I wonder about Sigzil's perspective. Like, he's now in charge of the Windrunners, but from his perspective, like, does nobody even know who he is, or does he think they have like a great relationship? And
yeah, he's like, "Oh, Brightness Navani. She must think I'm so well qualified for this position." She's like, "Who is this again? Sigzil?"
Oh my gosh. And so they're like, "Well, what about you, Sigzil?"
Navani the Hick is the fucking funniest.
I know. I just can't. I can't.
I love science. Man. I wish my husband had trusted me with these gemstones.
Oh my gosh. Kitty.
I need to go on mute.
This is gonna be polarizing among our listeners, I'm guessing.
Oh my gosh, isn't everything we do polarizing? Quite honestly,
I mean, it shouldn't be. Nobody should be that polarizing.
we said that our official stance was slavery is bad, and like half the people out there are like, "Well, I mean, come on."
Hopefully not. I
No,
mean,
yeah.
surely everybody can get
really
behind
hope
that
that's not
stance.
the case.
I hope everybody can get behind the stance that both slavery and murder are bad.
Yeah, right.
You would have hoped so.
Yeah, we can only hope.
But so they're like, "Hey, so Sixel, can we send you?" And he's like, "Oh, I think it would be a bad idea to send a Windrunner because basically our Honor Spren are acting against what the Honor Spren want to do. They're like outlaws almost.
Yeah.
So probably not one of us. But maybe other Radiants, especially ones that the Honor Spren respect, or especially ones whose like most of that group of Spren approves of what is happening." And yes, it's like, well, that rules me out. The other Ink Spren are opposed to what Ivory and I are doing. And Renarin is a special circumstance. We probably don't want to send him either. I like she doesn't even give Renarin the chance to say anything. She's like, yeah, we probably don't want to send him.
He's like, yeah, no, I guess I'm not going.
Nobody cares what Yamcha thinks.
I like the idea of Renarin as Yamcha, but with the way they treat him, I can see it.
It's like, as her friend, possibly bestie, I would say, that's a good moment.
If you're done picking on Yamcha, never!
And so, but
My nipples! Sorry. Had to
the
throw that one in there.
cultivation Spren have been on board with the new Radiance, so maybe we send an Edge Dancer. And Lift's like, yeah, I'll go. And they're like,
Maybe not you? Maybe not the
It's like-
teenager that eats?
It's like,
And she's-
like the absolute worst possible ambassador.
Yeah.
She's like, no,
Have they-
it'll be great. Wendell's famous over there because he figured out how chairs work.
Oh, Lift. That one,
Oh, God.
that one I'll give her. That was funny.
Yeah. So
Also-
I do think lift is best in like the smaller doses.
Yeah. I do wonder, like, do they actually explain to them, like, oh, I don't absorb Stormlight the same way. I gotta eat stuff.
I wonder that too. Yeah. And so, yeah, Navani's like, Lift is enthusiastic, but she's Lift. So Downer goes, but you're the best with healing, Lift. We need you here to heal people. But there's Godeki, another Edge Dancer. He's like, I'll go. I've got experience. He used to be an Ardent, so he's got experience like in social, I guess, diplomatic type situations.
I feel like this guy has come up a lot in this book. Like we haven't seen him before this book.
Yeah.
He was in the battle at the start, and now he's like on board for this mission. I'm just like, okay, you're either secretly being set to be a new main character, or you're gonna die a horrible death. And I
Or
don't
you're
know.
gonna be a secret bad guy.
Oh, that's
I-
that's true too.
We just didn't know any Edge Dancers before, except for Lift. So I guess
Yeah.
we're starting
Yeah.
to meet some
I
more.
find his background interesting, though. I wish they'd go into that a bit more. That he was an Ardent.
Mhm.
It's like,
Yeah.
how many Ardents have now joined the Radiance? Because I feel like that's like, if they are technically slaves, like, what does that mean? Like, do they gain
Yeah.
freedom from the Ardency because they become Radiance? Like, what is that?
That's
yeah.
a good point.
It's like that's a whole dynamic, which is like, ooh, there's a lot of potential story here.
Yeah, it says he'd once been an Ardent. So yeah, I guess he's
Right.
not an Ardent.
You got to think about that too. It's like, if you were an Ardent and then you become a Radiant, like, is the church just signing off on, like, okay, yeah, you don't have to be an Ardent anymore because we need people? Or like,
It's like-
because the church is kind of opposed to Dalinar.
Well, yeah, but also like the church has had cast the Radiants as bad guys for
Right.
centuries. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe they cast the Ardents that are become Radiant out because of that. I don't know.
It's like
They're like, you're out of here.
He goes into battle instead of summoning a shard blade. He like his spren manifests as a book and he just beats people with it.
Yeah. Richard!
Feel the power
go!
of Athenia! Bang!
Go, Richard! Form of a book.
And then Shalon is like, Adolin and I should be in charge. Cryptics and Honor Spren don't get along, but I'm still a good choice. Because we got a High Prince and a Radiant wife and his Radiant wife, so like that looks like we're sending important people on this thing.
Also, I want to go back to Shadesmar because I'm Shalon.
Well, Shalon had instructions from the Ghostbloods to go to the capital or whatever of the Honor
Right.
Spren. So yeah.
She's got her own reasons.
And Dalinar's like, that's great. And we'll send a Truth Watcher, not Renarin, and a Stoneward. That'll be great.
Set a Truth Watcher, not Renard.
Yeah. And Sigzel's Spren agrees that this is good. This is a good start. Apologize for the past. Promise to do better. Explain how dire the situation is. And maybe if the Stormfather talks to them on our behalf, and Dalinor's like, I'll see what I can do. He can be difficult.
Yeah. Until the whole Restories issue
Unders-
comes up when
understatement.
they're in the capital city, then that'll create some hubbub, I'm sure.
Right?
I do feel like we sort of glazed over Shallan's like, yeah, they were like cryptics, but I'm gonna go anyway. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
She's like, I'm still a good choice. And no one debates this. They're like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
It's like,
gives
wait.
actually. She just says I'm a good choice and does not actually give a reason as to why. And everyone's like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, cool.
And so after everyone, they agreed on two things at the meeting unanimously. This is the best meeting we've ever had. And we move on to later that day. I love the note that Navani has to make the rounds doing like the diplomacy, social graces sort of thing that a monarch has to do. Dalinar doesn't intentionally ignore social responsibilities like Gavilar. He just doesn't notice them. And because he's like the consummate soldier, everyone just kind of accepts that. Like, him. Like, it totally makes sense and nobody's upset about it.
He's the Blackthorn. He's so quirky.
And then we end the chapter with the two of them talking, and there's some talk about Taravangian. We're worried about that. And Dalinar's got this whole thing where he's like, I'm never going to let somebody do what I let Sadeas do to me on the Shattered Plains. That's not happening again. I'm not going to be that naive ever again.
Famous last words.
Yeah, right. And then he says, me and Yasna are going to the battlefield. I need you, Navani, to stay here in the shower and be in charge of stuff while we're gone. But the unsaid thing is, I need someone to lead the Alethi in case Yasna and I are both killed in Taravangian's trap.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a very sweet moment where like they love each other. They, before I leave, gonna make you feel special, and there's kissing, and that's the end of part one. And it's kind of a nice place to end. I feel like not the most like impactful, but like a nice little moment for them.
Too gooey for me.
And so, more next time.
Sex.
Yeah.
We're gonna read 3 interludes and 2 chapters. So that's interlude 1, 2, and 3, and then chapters 20 and 21. So 5 for next time. And
Ooh, who are our interlude characters?
our interlude perspectives are Sylphrena,
Hell yeah.
Ooh,
Shah Anat,
wait, what?
and Taravangian.
Interesting.
Wait, hang on. Isn't this like the Venli and Eshonai flashback book? Where are they?
This is a great question. We
Oh,
have
wait,
not
no,
seen any flashbacks.
Flashbacks are not part of the
They're not part of the interludes, but
interludes. Sorry, yes.
we haven't seen like flashbacks yet.
Yeah, we haven't had any at all.
Yeah.
Weird.
And
Part
then
2, flashbacks coming.
chapter 20 is called The Unseen Court, and chapter 21 is called The Seething Knot.
The Seething Knot.
Yeah,
That sounds gross.
KNOT. So yeah, predicaments. What do you guys think? Where are we going? What's going to happen?
It seems like a lot's going to happen. I got no idea what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. So we got all our major players are heading off to go do their things. I really do. I don't know if we're gonna see him, but I want to see the Mad Herald. I think that's it's like maybe he'll show up with Dalinar and Yasna's plot, which would be really cool. But yeah, it happens sometimes at the end of the part. It's just like, oh, now we've got all these disparate plot threads. We're setting them all up. I don't know what's going to happen in each of them. I think the one I'm most looking forward to is like this going to see. We're going to go into the cognitive realm. We're going to meet with the Spren, and we'll have Shallan's little side plot of trying to please the Ghost Bloods in that, because we feel like the Ghost Bloods are sort of ramping up a bit in this book. But like we're going to get to the heart of the matter where we're going to deal with whatever, like however the Spren feel about the betrayal of humanity, the betrayal of the Radiance. This isn't really a prediction. It's just like I'm really excited to see this, because I don't really have a prediction this week. I'm just like, this is going to be so cool, and I can't wait.
Yeah, if we're going to be addressing, because all of the Spren seem to feel a way about that, right? And it's hard to blame them after seeing what happened to those Spren on the other side. But
yeah, and this is something that has been hanging over us the entire series for years, in universe and out of universe. This is something that has been like casting a shadow over the entire narrative. So it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna get some answers here, and I love it. Oh, I'm here for it. Let's go. Who was the boat captain that we met last book? Notum,
yeah.
Yeah, I get the feeling like maybe we'll charter his boat again. Maybe we'll see him again. He'll just be like, yeah, I'm not really meant to go there. And it's like, dude, we need a hand, and you are literally the only person we know in here who isn't that weird. like
It's true.
Elantris dude.
He was a decent dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just excited to go back to Shadesmar in general, and we know Shallan and Adolin are both going, which means that like life-size Pattern will be hanging around again, and Adolin's sword.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
You know, and we'll get to see these others. Like, I don't know that we've seen an Edge Dancer Spren on the other side, or a Truth Watcher one, or a Stoneward one. So we're gonna see some interesting stuff, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, they got their own little mini crew going on, and we're gonna like meet like this. We're gonna have a colorful cast of characters. Like, I'm expecting some of them will probably die horribly.
As happens, what can you do?
Yeah. It's like, so we've got 5 people and their Spren, 10 characters in this one small side plot group. Well, we're gonna have to cut the numbers down.
Although I'm going to show you guys Dak. You guys don't have the US version, so but Joe may have seen this. This is the cover of Rhythm of War for the US version. Where's our chat? And it is Shallan in Shadesmar, and I've always thought that it looks very cool. And you can kind of see like the sea of beads in the background and stuff.
Ooh.
I don't think I realized that's what that was portraying. That's interesting.
Oh. Ooh. Okay. Cool.
The UK version that you guys have, I guess, is like the 2 covers. One is, I guess, Shallan with her shard blade, and one is Adolin standing there, which those are also cool, but I kind of like this image.
Yeah, that looks like it would be. That looks like it would be Shallan. I don't have the second one on me.
Jeez, she got like Sephiroth's sword or something. Like, it's kind of crazy long on the cover of the UK one. Hold on a second. I'm looking for the full image of. There we go. Because when the cover image wraps around to the back, and that was only the front. But when you see both parts of the image, you can see Adolin is there also, and a kind of a cool structure in the background of the Adolin side of things. Let me paste that in here.
Interesting that for both editions, that's like Shallan is the cover character.
That is interesting.
Like that speaks to, okay, this might be narratively like one of the main plots. Like, I guess that's a dumb thing to say. It's Shallan and Adolin. They're 2 of the main characters, of course. Disregard me. It's been a big week.
Well, Yasna was on the US cover of the last book. I don't remember what did the Oathbringer covers look like in the UK. I don't remember.
Was Yasna, or help me remember, Adolin's sword could manifest as a sword in Shadesmar? Because
no, it's just it's. I think we find out that she's like a cultivation spren, like one of the Edge Dancer spren, because she looks like vines and stuff, but her eyes are all scratched out, and she just like stares.
So he shouldn't have his sword if they're in Shadesmar. That's
because like when they're in Shadesmar, he tried to summon his sword, and she just started screaming.
She started screaming, yeah.
Right, but that's what I mean. Like, he's got a sword, so
maybe that's also supposed to be Yasna on the UK cover. I don't know. Of Oathbringer.
I'm gonna have to look up the UK cover of Rhythm of War.
Oh yeah, hold on. I can share that too while we're. But yeah, so here's the one that they have in the wiki as the Oathbringer UK cover. I'm like, maybe that's Yasna. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really tell. It feels almost like it's more. To me, it looks more like it's a veil or something.
But yeah, here is for Joe the first, because it's divided into 2. But the first Rhythm of War UK cover, and then the.
Oh yeah, her sword is weird and super long.
Where did I put? Here's the second one. So yeah, you can find these covers out on the Wikipedia, y'all. If we're digging into it, but they're I've always liked the style of the UK covers, like the consistency between all the Cosmere books of like this color styling, but you do miss some of like the interesting detail on some of these American covers.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm just gonna go reach for like overarching predicaments. I think the invasion of Urithiru is going to happen. I think that's going to be a big problem for our heroes. I don't know what exactly it's going to look like, who's going to end up winning, but I think it's going to be a big issue, because I feel like, they had a victory over Odium at the end of the last book, even though there were some downturns like losing Alethkar, all that stuff. I do feel like El-Hakar's death, at the same time they had like a victory.
Yeah, and we ended on a victory at least. Yeah,
right. And we wanted more Shadesmar in the last book, so I'm really hoping that like the majority of this book from those other characters is Shadesmar. I hope like we get a lot of Shadesmar action all the time. That'd be real cool, especially with seeing through the eyes of Shallan, who is like a person that's curious, investigative. Maybe get a lot of nice detail and fun stuff from Shadesmar. I think that would be real fun. So I'm hoping that happens. Yeah. Other than that, nothing super specific jumping out at me. I do want to see kind of like how the Fused plan is like coming together and formulating, because I feel like there's a lot about that we don't know. I'm excited to get a Syl perspective and see like what that is. Hopefully it's it's got some substance to it. Hopefully it's not like, look, I'm putting rats in boots. That wouldn't be a super interesting read. But yeah, so I'm excited to keep going.
All right. Honestly, I think I would read a Syl perspective that was her trying to lure a rat into Kaladin's boot. That could be fun.
I guess, but like, come on, it's our first Syl perspective. We want to get get some good stuff.
Fair, yeah. All right. Well, let's do some emails, y'all. These are predictions that make sense at this point. We don't have all that much information to go on, and we've always had a little trouble in Stormlight coming out with some craziness. But I think we've got some good ideas. Let's do some emails. I was going to mention to you guys, we started doing on Don't Gaslight Me, Jesus, as more news, and they've already made their first casting announcement for the Dungeon Crawler Carl TV show. I was like, we're going to start doing... Fast. I know, right? We're going to start doing a segment of like TV show news when there is new TV show news. So as we progress with the Cosmere stuff, the Mistborn and Stormlight, maybe we should integrate something like that. We don't have anything big at the moment. But
I see Matt Dinman post often. It's like, this person's been cast as this. I'm like, okay.
Yep. So once that starts happening on this end, who knows how long it'll take, then we might do some of the same. All right. Let's look at a few emails. This one has a review attached, so get ready for that, Joe. Mm-hmm. This one is from Cyphix. It says, Hi, Hi, Dak, Joe, Jamie, Data. Longtime listener here. I've been listening to you guys since 2021, which is a little crazy when I think about it. And I'm about to head off to college in a couple of months. I thought I'd email to say I appreciate all the work you guys do putting out an episode each week. There have been countless Monday mornings before school when the only thing I could look forward to was a new episode of the podcast. When I started listening, none of my friends were reading Sanderson, so it's been really fun seeing your journey through the Cosmere, especially when someone has a different take on something than I did. Keep up the great work. Wasing to the time of next. Cyphix. Haha, I'm Syl. P.S. I'm listening on Podbean and finally got around to rating it on Spotify, and they attached their 5-star rating.
Wow. Listening, it sounds like since middle school if you are in the U.S., so that's quite a journey you've come through with us.
I didn't even, when it's 2021, I was like, oh, that's not that long. Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that's 5 years ago, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, that's wild. Cyphix, man, what a journey you've been with us on through these years. I love our good friend Waxilium Ladrian. So I'm gonna make you a coin shot.
Nice. Coin shot's a good one. That's you see that.
It's classic. It's classic.
Yeah, that's the way to put it. So thank you for the email, Cyphix. Let's do this one. It's from Jenny. It's the title is Doug. I'm now midway through your Warbreaker episodes, and I love the Doug references. That's true. I was slipping some Doug stuff in there before you guys knew.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about with the Doug stuff in Warbreaker. That was so long ago.
I started Sanderson with Tress of the Emerald Sea, so I'm really looking forward to that part of the podcast. But I know I still have a long way to go. I'm really interested to see if the crew picked up on any of the spore references in some of the past books, like the rock-growing guy in Mistborn Era 2. Yeah, I mean, we did that before we knew about spores, so...
Yep, yeah. We absolutely did not.
Did not.
I didn't start Sanderson with any purpose, so my reading order was kind of funky. Tress, Frugal Wizard, Sunlit Man, Stormlight, Warbreaker, Dawnshard, and then I read along with you guys starting with Mistborn. That is a wild order to have done.
That is strange, especially because, like, no Yumi? Like, what
that was interesting to me, too, yeah. Like, it sounds like you started with the secret projects, but just didn't do Yumi?
I feel like Yumi seems to be the one I hear the least about.
I think Data said that was, like, his favorite of the secret projects, right, Data?
I don't remember.
But it's like, because...
What I said.
Like, I try and avoid spoilers and stuff, but I read TV tropes a lot, and I feel like I'll see in such and such of the Stormlight Archive or Trust the Emerald Sea or Sunlit Man. I'll just go no, skip. But I never see Yumi crop up on any of that sort of stuff.
Interesting.
So
I've seen covers of Yumi in the bookstores that I thought looked really cool, but
yeah,
Yumi and Tress were definitely my top two of the original four.
Yeah, I
They've
do,
expanded.
and yeah, the only thing I know about Sunlit Man is apparently that's a controversial one. Again, I've seen people say that online. I'm just like, skip. Don't read anything.
Good call.
Yeah.
We're gonna
It's
see.
it's not good when I'm on Instagram looking at our page and then the algorithm starts feeding me like Sanderson stuff. I'm like, crap.
Yeah.
The reading order for Sunlit Man is definitely it is almost when do you read Secret History levels of controversial about when to read Sunlit Man.
Interesting.
Wow.
And I've gotten questions in emails and on our Discord several times, like, have you decided when you're going to read Sunlit Man yet? And I'm like, we're not there yet. I don't have to deal with figuring that out exactly just
Oh,
yet.
so you don't know when we're going to read?
Not for sure yet.
Okay.
It's up in the air still. Yeah, it's and it's interesting because in the fandom with Secret History, at least in the beginning, there was a big argument that, like, the majority of people like read it after Bands of Mourning. That's when it was published. That's when Brandon says you should read it. You should read it after Bands of Mourning. I feel like since then there have been a lot more people moving over to the side of, well, after Hero of Ages is not a bad time to read it, especially if you're not going to read those other ones for a while, which was why I put it where I did. We read it after Hero of Ages because we weren't going to read those other Mistborn books for a while. With Sunlit Man, the popular position is not the one that, like, Brandon published it where he did. It comes if we were going in publication order, it would be like between Rhythm of War and Wind and Truth. That's when Brandon published it. That's, if you were reading what you would call like Brandon's order, that's when you would read it. A very popular fan opinion is no, put it after Wind and Truth.
Interesting.
It was interesting to me to see so many people use the argument of, no, Brandon says you should read Secret History after Bands of Mourning. You shouldn't do it any other place. And that's publication order. That's when to do it. And I feel like that's those same people are like, well, no, you shouldn't read Sunlit Man in that order. And so I don't know. Maybe that's just the way that it seemed to me from the things I've read. But I felt very much like people are like, well, no, my previous argument doesn't work in this case. So I'm going to argue the other side.
It's like, I feel what they're really trying to say is, I'm going to hide behind the publication order to tell you what I think is the best way to do it.
That's maybe, yeah, could be.
My reading order is based on vibes.
Yeah, here's the vibe.
But yeah, so that was a wild order to have done, and I hope you. I mean, clearly Jenny's been listening to us for a while, has read all these books, so she's enjoyed it. Good on you.
Yeah. Well, all right, here's the real question. Do you read Chronicles of Narnia in publication order or in the like reformatted order?
I've never read Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh, I thought you had.
No.
They're easy reads because they're like meant for kids.
They're for a younger audience, yeah.
I think I only ever read Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
I don't think I've never even read that one.
That and The Silver Chair are probably the best ones in my opinion.
Well,
and maybe Voyage of the Dawn Treader is good.
Yeah, I have read Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
Yeah, that one's good too. I think Silver Chair, in my opinion, is slightly better.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I just remember like they did the first two movies, and I actually remember like really liking the movie Prince Caspian. And then they they couldn't get enough Prince Caspian so well at the box office, so they sold it to another studio. They produced Dawn Treader, which wasn't great. And then the movie franchise just died after that. I'm like, oh damn.
Just died.
It was right in the middle of like a lot of books being made into films when they were kind of like one of the first ones after the Harry Potter franchise hit big in film. They tried to capitalize on that, and I just don't think when it was produced well. I think it would be much better as a series, but doubt it will be made into one.
Yeah, I thought the first movie was good, and I remember liking Reepicheep in Prince Caspian.
Old Reepicheep.
Yeah. They're making a series now. Like Greta Gerwig, like Little Women, Barbie is in charge.
Who's producing it? Paramount or HBO? Like who's making it? Well, I guess Paramount's. Of course, Paramount is buying HBO, so Time Warner.
I think it might be Netflix. I'll have to double check that.
Yeah. Netflix Chronicles of Narnia franchise updates from April 2025. So I guess they've been working on it for a while. I don't see much recent about it.
Yeah. How do you feel, Data? Have you been keeping up with the live action Avatar Airbender stuff? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
I dropped Netflix a while ago, so I have not seen any of it.
Okay.
We've been debating watching season 2. I just haven't been enthused about it.
I've heard horrible things about season 2, but I heard good things about
Oh.
season 1, so I don't know.
Interesting.
I didn't mind season 1, but like I'm not rushing to go back into season 2, so
Mm.
we'll see. And things like it's a show, but you know what? There's already an Avatar show telling the same story that's already perfect. So
Yep. Yeah, you can't get much better than the original. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I am hanging out for
Very
that
good.
animated movie when it drops, though. The Avatar Aang movie.
oh yeah, I think it is already out here on
Yeah.
Paramount Plus.
It came out on Paramount Plus. I don't have Paramount Plus
And-
though.
Yeah, no, I don't think that streaming service exists down here. I need to figure out one,
Yeah.
what it's on, two, if I have it, two, if I want to get that service, or if
Well-
I watch it at someone else's house or something else.
When if Paramount's acquiring Time Warner, I wonder if all of their stuff will
Will end
go
up
on the
together.
HBO Max
Mm.
streaming
Yeah,
service.
maybe.
I
In which
watched it.
case- Yeah, I don't have the service that has those because we're watching House of the Dragon, but we're doing that at a friend's house because we don't have that service.
Right.
Makes sense. Yeah, I watched the Avatar movie. I have issues with it. I think that the plot is extremely generic, like the most generic MacGuffin plot that you could think of, but with Avatar characters. And it bothers me what they did with the voice actors, where they're like, we're recasting the voice actors because they said we want people who more closely match the ethnicity of the characters. And I'm like, but the Water Tribe is not a real ethnicity. Like, why? What are we doing there? And I feel like they kind of did the original actors dirty.
I mean, I get representation, but yeah, you're talking about fictional characters that weren't originally
Yeah.
represented in that way.
Yeah,
Some of them have come out and been like, yeah, I wasn't even approached about this project. And so I feel like it annoys me. Some of the voice actors do an okay job sounding like trying to be loyal to what the characters kind of sound like. And then some of them, like the guy Roku shows up for like a whole second and it sounds not even trying to be anywhere close. And I was like, why even have him if you're just if it's going to be a completely different thing? Anyway, I won't get any more deep into it.
We're fans crying out about something that like the majority of the people who are probably consuming that media may be like much newer to it and like don't care.
That's true. But I will say that at the end of the day, after getting to the end of the movie, I was just like, there is something about being back in this world, back with these characters that, despite all of the issues I had with the movie, I'm just like, I loved this experience.
Give you the
Because
nostalgia feels.
It probably is a lot of that, but I'm just like, getting to see Katara and Aang and Sokka and stuff be badass again and do cool, like, it felt really good.
Not be old or
So,
dead.
Yeah. I mean, Katara's cool in Korra, but she's not as badass as I like seeing adult Katara just kick ass. It's awesome.
Sure.
yeah. Well, I mean, like the whole thing about Korra was specifically, we don't just want to have the original cast solving everything. We want the new cast, and it's like that's totally fine. I get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is cool. Then it's like, oh, we got this other movie, and we get to see like the original cast because it's still this one is actually still about them, so they can do their thing as adults, and it's awesome.
Yep.
Right. Water Tribe.
Anyway, let's finish Jenny's email. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and my favorite part is catching Easter eggs and connections between all the different worlds in the Cosmere. I'm looking forward to hearing the connections the crew makes. Still love listening to you guys and expanding my knowledge of the Cosmere. Wasing to the time of next. Colo, do you guys even still say this? Jenny. Yes, Jenny, we do.
Yes, we do. You can't stop us, Jenny. Don't even try. Don't Terminator us. Don't go back in time and try to stop us. It's not going to
You just wait for what we add to it.
happen.
We've got another review on this one, so get ready for that. This is a very
From
short
Jenny or a new
No.
one?
No, the new one. Sorry.
Oh,
Thank you,
okay.
Jenny. This one is from K, just K. Hi, this question goes out to Dak. Am I correct in remembering that you're an actor or voice actor of sorts? If so, how do you feel about that? If not, what is your secret nerdy passion? Everyone can chime in with whatever they want, of course.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. I suck at actually picking up parts, but when I do get to do it, I have a lot of fun with it. But as I've talked about multiple times on this show, it's like with the X-Men show I'm working on, I'm actually doing a lot more writing than voice acting at the moment, and it's great. We do have an episode being edited at the moment that I wrote, and I get to play the main villain in.
Nice.
And like it's not like part of the main season. It's just like kind of a between two other episodes. I'm just like, hang on, I've got these two characters together talking, and there's a villain I always loved who didn't get done in the show originally. So I messaged the guy. It's like, hey, what if between these episodes I wrote something which is like a flashback to this part of X-Men history, and we bring this villain in. We never have to use him again that way, but at least we can say we did him. And he's like, I gave him my pitch for the outline. He's just like, okay, that sounds kind of fun. I'm like, yes. And then he's like, and then like I auditioned for the bad guy. He's like, yeah, you got it. I'm like, yay!
Nice. Oh, that's
Look
nice.
at me
See?
dancing around spoilers. Dancy.
I was like, you're very clearly avoiding some spoilers there. Yeah, nicely done. By the way, I never got around to sending a screenshot of my 5-star review on Pocket Casts, so here's a 5-star. And also,
Pocket
it
Casts.
lists what I put on Patreon before the Sander Lynch as a thing on there. Also, they left a 5-star review for that. So there you go.
Nice.
Best to you all, and to the cups from Kay.
To the cups. Yeah. Hey, Kay. You remind me of Tommy Lee Jones's character in Men in Black, who reminds me of Clubs. So I'm gonna make you a smoker.
Interesting. I hadn't thought of he's like an old ornery guy. I can kind of, but that's kind of just Tommy Lee Jones.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
that's any Tommy Lee Jones character.
Yeah, I'm not
so-
saying specifically Kay. I'm saying Kay reminded me of Tommy Lee Jones. That reminded me of Clubs.
Okay, fair. Let's see. Let's do one more super short email just to clear some space in our box here. We got a whole bunch. This one is from Alshad, who we heard from several times before. Hi, DJ, D&J. In episode 289, Dak mentioned that you're going to get someone saying Moash did nothing wrong. This is that email.
Oh no.
Moash was told to do nothing to Elhokar, and boy, did he do that wrong. That's it for me today. Wasn't to the time of next.
Oh, I
quote.
get it. That's a
Yeah.
good joke.
Yeah. Waka waka.
Yeah, I was concerned there for a moment.
What's that meme? It's like they had us in the first half. Not gonna lie.
Yep.
Yeah. This is that
Oh.
email. I was like, oh no.
I felt the bottom drop out of my stomach. It's like, oh, here we go.
Okay, I said that was the last one, but we have to do this other really short one because I love it. It is from Addison, and it's called Moash the Drama Queen. Hi, DJ, JD. Longtime listener, first time caller. I started listening when I was on paternity leave with my second child, and by the time you read this, she'll already be 5. Ah, man. On episode 289, y'all brought up how much of a drama queen Moash was at the meeting of the Fused, what with keeping his undismissed honor blade out, and it goes even further than that, because back in chapter 6, when Navani sees him, she notes that he's wearing a black Bridge 4 uniform with no patch, which means he had to go and get someone to custom make him an evil Bridge 4 uniform, or even worse, make it himself. All the while telling himself how cool and edgy it was. Really gives off emo Peter Parker vibes, and then they included this GIF.
My God,
Yeah.
he's trying to be Venom to Kaladin Spider-Man. You're right.
It's pretty awesome actually. Also, I like how we had 2 emails in a row that like reference specifically our podcast episode 289.
That is
Yeah.
funny. Yeah.
Guess people like that one.
So yeah.
I hadn't put that together, but you're right. Like he had to go
Yeah.
get the fuse, like one of the fuse or one of the singers, or whichever the various systems are. It's like you need to make me this, and they've made it, and he's just gone. Well, that's clearly not correct. You need to redo it because
Yeah.
like they just be like, what you're describing a uniform to us from memory. Mean dude. He's like, no, buttons over there, no shoulder patch. But like make it look like there was a patch, but tear it off. I'm like, what?
Yeah, he's this is giving me the goofy vibes for Spider-Man 3 like they were talking about, just like Venom just walking down the street pointing at women, confusing them.
you know, like Moash is walking through like the streets of Alethkar with all like the subjugated people and like all the Pash of various flavors, and he's just doing like the pelvic thrusts and like the dance moves around them as well, and everyone's like, "What's wrong with that guy?"
Yeah, that guy's weird.
Like all the subjugated humans are just like, "Glad we're not that guy."
Yeah, right. I kind of love the picture even more of him like sitting in a dark room, like sewing his own uniform. He's like, man, this is gonna look so cool when I'm done.
Yeah.
Wait till
And
they
then-
see me.
Yeah, he's like, wait till Kaladin sees this shit. He's gonna be like, whoa. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm badass, aren't I? I really wanted him
It's
to like
after-
mention it on page, just like, you Kaladin, check the
Did you see Kaladin?
But it's like after that battle at the start of the book, like an unwritten scene was just like Leshry walks in on Moash pouting. It's like, oh, what now? It's like, you didn't even mention the uniform.
Yeah, Kaladin didn't mention my uniform.
He
Well,
doesn't
sure.
care. Hey, Odium, can you take my pain about him not caring about my uniform?
How do I make him notice me, Ashley?
Take my pain, man.
Odium's like, oh god, this guy again.
Yeah. It's like, here
Oh,
comes suckle
man.
at the morphine teeth that is odium.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
God. Wow.
That's a picture. All right. That's a good place to wrap up for the day.
Yeah, Moash sucking on old odium's boob. It's all good.
Thank you, emailers. If anyone wants to send us an email, the address is thesanderlanch@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram and Facebook and Patreon, where I'm sorry, y'all, it's been like 3 weeks and I didn't get into reading. I guess I just needed a break from the Patreon for a little bit. So after we finished the last book, it's been like 3 weeks and no new updates. I am working to get one out this week, and I'm sorry for those of you who are subscribing and have not gotten anything new. That's on me. So it will be coming. Hopefully by the time this episode is out, you will see it. Although I said that in the last episode and it did not make it. So I'm working on it. I'm sorry, y'all. But join our Patreon if you want to hear me reacting as I read Sanderson stuff for the first time. And it should be Dragonsteel Prime that is going up now. So check that out. But thanks, everybody. We appreciate all of you. Remember, we are doing 5 chapters for next time. That's 3 interludes and 2 chapters. So interlude 1 through chapter 21. We're heading into part 2, which has some of my favorite epigraphs of this book, maybe, if I'm remembering correctly. So we'll get into it. That's 5 chapters for next time. Music by Miracle of Sound. And Wussing to the Time of Next. Colo, P.S. Fasher. Crabs ahoy! To the coast.
Crabs ahoy!
burden that is shared is much easier to bear. We will not fall to despair this darkest day. Whatever comes our